Spectacular red outfit and stunning legs. Princess Catherine of Wales outshined everyone at the ceremony welcoming South Korea's presidential couple. South Korean, Republic of Korea. President Yoon Suk-yeol, 62, accompanied by his wife Kim Kyung-hee, 51, began his three-day state visit to the UK yesterday as a guest of His Majesty King Charles. The visit will last from November 21 to 23, 2023. On the afternoon of Monday, November 20, the presidential couple arrived in London at Stansted International Airport. To celebrate the arrival of the President and First Lady, a 41-gun salute was fired near the Tower of London. Mall Street was decorated with South Korean flags. The official part of the visit began on the morning of November 21. Once again, it was the Prince and Princess of Wales who first went to greet the distinguished guests. Last year, during the South African president's visit, the Welsh also welcomed him to the hotel. William and Kate drove to the hotel where the presidential couple was staying and greeted them on behalf of the king. The prince was incredibly charismatic as always in a suit, and the Princess of Wales for a series of events chose a simply mind-blowing image. Very spectacular and stunning red outfit. Catherine appeared before us in a red dress, a red coat Catherine Walker and a red cape of the same brand. To this outfit Kate picked up red Jan Vito Rossi shoes and a wide red hat from Jane Taylor. From jewelry that day the princess wore earrings with sapphires and diamonds, which belonged to Princess Diana. This was definitely not the look Catherine had in mind. The princess was a true queen yesterday and outshone everyone. From the hotel, their Royal Highnesses traveled with the President and First Lady to the Horse Guards Parade, where the President and First Lady were welcomed. Kate rode in the car with the First Lady and William rode with the President himself. The guests arrived at the Horse Guards Plaza, where the official welcoming ceremony was to take place. King Charles and Queen Camilla, Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, Foreign Secretary David Cameron, Home Secretary James Cleverly, Chief of Defense Staff and others were already waiting for them there. Queen Camilla did not look as spectacular as Catherine, but also elegant in a blue dress and blue Anna Valentine coat, one of Philip Treacy's favorite blue hats and black Russell and Bromley boots. The guests arrived and all the rules of welcome were followed. A guard of honor gave the royal salute and the national anthem of the Republic of Korea was played before King Charles and President Ramaphosa inspected the troops. More than 1,000 soldiers and more than 230 horses took part in the ceremonial event. Then it was the turn to ride to Buckingham Palace for a private dinner. King Charles and President Yoon Suk-yeol rode in the Irish state carriage, followed by First Lady Kim Kyung-hee and Queen Camilla in the Australian state carriage. The Prince and Princess of Wales followed them to the palace in the Scottish state carriage along with South Korea's Deputy Prime Minister. Upon arrival at Buckingham Palace, King Charles, Queen Camilla, Prince William, Princess Kate and their guests were greeted by a guard of honor from the 1st Battalion of the Welsh Guards. After a private lunch at Buckingham Palace hosted by the King, His Majesty invited the President and First Lady to view a special exhibition of objects from the royal collection relating to the Republic of Korea in the picture gallery. In addition to the royal and Welsh couples, this exhibition was attended by the Duchess of Edinburgh Sophie in a pale pink Gabriella Hearst dress, the Duke of Gloucester Richard and the Duchess of Gloucester Birgitta in a red dress. After lunch, the President and First Lady, along with Duke Richard of Gloucester, participated in a wreath-laying ceremony at the Korean War Memorial to commemorate the 70th anniversary of the end of the Korean War. The President and First Lady then traveled to Westminster Abbey, where they laid a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier. The President and First Lady then toured the Abbey, where they had the opportunity to meet with Royal Hospital Chelsea pensioners, who served on active duty during the Korean War. In the evening, the royal family and their honored guests enjoyed a reception at Buckingham Palace. The Princess of Wales appeared at a Buckingham Palace reception in a fancy evening gown and a new tiara not seen in nearly 100 years. The President of South Korea, Republic of Korea, 62-year-old Yoon Suk-yeol, accompanied by his wife, 51-year-old Kim Kyung-hee, began his three-day state visit to the UK yesterday as a guest of His Majesty King Charles. And yesterday, November 21, was the first day of their stay in London. On this day, the royal family held a number of events for the guests. A reception at Buckingham Palace in honor of the President and First Lady of South Korea. The guests included members of the government, diplomatic corps, and other dignitaries. The dress code for such a solemn and important reception is always white tie. White tie is the strictest social evening dress code. Men at the reception are usually in tails, women in evening dresses, jewelry, and royal ladies wear tiaras and tiaras on such an occasion. The banquet was very carefully prepared and held in the ballroom. The ballroom is the most spacious room of Buckingham Palace. It was opened in 1856 in honor of the end of the Crimean War. Queen Elizabeth's state receptions were held here. Now not Queen Elizabeth, but King Charles, and Elizabeth held more than 150 receptions for heads of state during her reign. Preparations for the state visit and, of course, for the banquet began a long time ago. The banquet was and always is prepared with special care. All details, especially cutlery, chairs, and other things, are chosen and arranged with special attention. The final touches were seen to by the king and queen consort. The tables were decorated with beautiful flowers. The palace florists created compositions of bright purple, red, and pink flowers and leaves from Windsor Home Park and the orchid garden in Windsor's greenhouses. Incidentally, after the banquet, the flowers were donated to Floral Angels, a charity of which Camilla is patron. The flowers will then be delivered to hospices, nursing homes, and shelters. Another very beautiful moment at the banquet was one of the sweet mini-meals. On the tables there were many plates with tiaras, mini cakes of different tastes. And in the center there was an incredible flower, the national flower of the Republic of Korea, Syrian hibiscus. Only this masterpiece was made of pink sugar. What golden hands of the master who made it! More than 170 guests of the gala reception enjoyed a variety of dishes, among which were tartlets with poached egg and spinach puree, pheasant breast with celery croquettes, and calvados sauce and salad, mango ice cream. The evening gala banquet was attended by King Charles, Queen Consort Camilla, Prince and Princess William and Catherine of Wales, Princess Anne and Timothy Lawrence, Duchess Sophie of Edinburgh, Duke and Duchess Richard and Brigitte of Gloucester, in addition to guests. Princess Alexandra and the Duke of Kent are apparently already having a hard time attending such events. The royal ladies were simply stunningly beautiful. And let me say right off the bat, the evening was an evening of new tiaras. Queen Consort Camilla became the bright star of the evening. During the day, Catherine shone in red, and in the evening total red was adopted by Camilla. She wore a red Fiona Clare dress, and to this dress, a stunning beautiful set, a Burmese ruby tiara, diamond and ruby earrings, and a necklace. Princess Anne was so delicate in her white airy gown and diamond festoon tiara. This tiara was given to Anne by the Worldwide Shipping Group International Shipping Company in 1973 as a wedding gift for her marriage to Mark Phillips after she christened one of their ships earlier in 1973. The Duchess of Gloucester also shone in a delicate blue gown and diamond and emerald bandeau tiara, which belonged to the Duchess of Gloucester's mother-in-law Brigitte. The Duke of Gloucester's father Richard Henry gave this tiara to his bride Alice as a wedding gift back in the 1930s. How beautiful and elegant Brigitte always is, and to look like this at 77 years old is just incredible. Duchess of Edinburgh's Sophie took Anne's example and also wore a white dress, a dress from King Charles' coronation by Susanna. The Duchess' head was adorned with an aquamarine tiara necklace. Princess Catherine of Wales stunned again with her image for the second time that day. Again in a top 10, she wore white just like Sophie and Anne, and she looked just like a beautiful statue, a stunning image. A white evening dress in floor length from Jenny Packham, white long gloves, diamond earrings of Queen Elizabeth, and finally a new tiara, the tiara Strathmore Roses, which belonged to the Queen Mother and which she wore almost 100 years ago. Lady Elizabeth Bowes-Lyon, the future Duchess of York, Queen Consort of Georgie VI, better known as the Queen Mother, received this bandeau tiara from her father, the Earl of Strathmore, for her wedding in 1923. She last wore the tiara in the 1930s. Neither Elizabeth nor Margaret has ever worn this tiara, and now the tiara has found a new life thanks to Catherine. During the banquet, guests enjoyed delicious food while King Charles and President Yoon Suk-yeol gave speeches. Charles began with a welcome and noted how close the ties between the two countries have become in over 100 years of diplomatic relations. Mr. President, Mrs. Kim Kyung-hee. My wife and I are very pleased to welcome you to Buckingham Palace this evening, as we celebrate 140 years of diplomatic relations between our two countries. Your visit to the United Kingdom marks our remarkable partnership. It is a partnership in which the close personal ties fostered over many decades have now grown into a real sense of affection between our societies on many levels. In addition to this, the King did not fail to mention environmental protection. King Charles also noted that Korea and the UK have been cooperating closely in many areas and exchanging experiences. As our countries strive for harmony between progress and preservation, between past and present, we can look to the future with great confidence as our peoples forge ever closer ties. In education, so many young Koreans and Britons are studying at each other's world-class universities. In the arts, Korean singers and musicians are delighting audiences by performing with British orchestras. In sports, Korean soccer players play in the English and Scottish Premier Leagues, and a British coach manages the Korean women's soccer team. In science, our researchers are collaborating to find new energy solutions through hydrogen and thermonuclear technologies. Our defense companies are looking for joint projects that will allow them to find new markets together. Our cyber experts are working together to protect us from those who would do us harm. In addition, our armed forces are training and sharing expertise at a level of intensity appropriate for two globally responsible powers. And of course, towards the end, His Majesty proposed a toast to the continuation of such warm relations. Mr. President, Mrs. Kim, it is with great pride and pleasure that I propose a toast to the next 140 years of Korea-UK relations. Thus came to an end another colorful and festive reception at Buckingham Palace. And we will be looking forward to another reception in December, the annual diplomatic reception, which will also be held at Buckingham Palace. And what if the royal ladies make us happy again and rummage through the royal treasury in search of more tiaras? Dear friend, if you like everything new about the royal family and don't want to miss all the novelties, subscribe to our channel and like it. By doing so, you take part in our development. We work for you.